Hi, I'm Brian French, and I'm the CEO of Keller Williams Greenville Upstate. As many of you have heard by now, that there was a settlement with the National Association of Realtors in a class action lawsuit on Friday, March 15th of 2024. I want to take just a few minutes and give you the highlights of the settlement so that you have the most accurate information for you to make your own business decisions. The first thing that you need to know is this is a proposal. It has not been approved by the judge, and it still could change. As of today, absolutely nothing has changed other than the conversations around what could change. The judge has to approve this, and in the settlement, the new rules that we're going to talk about are proposed to take place in July of 2024. So as of today, nothing has changed. The other thing is there is a financial settlement that the National Association of Realtors, or NAR, agreed to, and that is they have agreed to pay to the members of the class action lawsuit $418 million over the next 4 years. Once you get past the financial settlement, there are 5 principal rule changes that the settlement proposes to enact in July. Let's take them one by one. The first principal change in the settlement to be enacted in July of 2024 is that a buyer agency agreement must be signed by the potential client or customer before an agent can show a house that is listed in the MLS. Within that buyer agency agreement, the compensation that is going to be given to the agent must be written out very clearly, either as a percentage of the sales price of the house or a flat fee number. In addition to that, the agent cannot receive more commission than is documented in their buyer agency agreement. So for example, if they were to be offered a bonus over and beyond what the percentage or dollar amount is in their buyer agency agreement, the proposal of this settlement to be enacted in July of 2024 would prevent the agent from accepting more than they have requested from their client in the buyer's agency agreement. And the buyer's agency agreement would be required for them to show a house that is in the MLS. The second rule that was proposed in the settlement to be enacted in July of 2024 is that agents cannot offer compensation in the MLS. So moving forward, that field will be removed from all NAR-owned MLSs, and there will be no buyer agency compensation offered in the MLS. The second part of that new rule to be proposed to be enacted in July of 2024 is the seller can make comments in the public section of the MLS that allows them to offer concessions that could be used to pay the buyer agency or pay a buyer agent agreement. The third proposed rule to go into effect as a result of the proposed settlement is that offers for cooperative compensation or buyer agency can be offered off of MLS. That means buyer agency compensation can be offered in things like email, newsletters, text messages. Offers for compensation can be made off of the MLS. The fourth rule of the proposed settlement is that brokers can offer cooperative compensation or buyer agency compensation on their own websites for their own listings. This information cannot be populated from the MLS, and that also applies to listing aggregators such as Realtor.com and Zillow. So there can be no cooperative compensation information in the MLS. However, brokers can publish their cooperative compensation on their own website and only for their own listings. The fifth rule of the settlement is that agents must provide commission disclosures in their listing agreements and in their buyer agency agreements. The National Association of Realtors and local boards will be forming documents or forms that will disclose the commission structure for every transaction, and those documents will be required for each transaction. Now, obviously, we don't have those documents yet, and we'll be looking for guidance from our state and local associations here in South Carolina to get those documents to comply with the proposed settlement so that we can properly disclose the commissions and the structure of those commissions for each transaction. In summary, buyer agency is going to be required for every listing that is in the MLS. An agent will have to have the commission conversation with a customer that is turning into a client for them to be able to show the house, and part of that documentation is going to have to clearly document what the commission to the buyer's agent is going to be and how it is going to be paid. The next biggest change is that cooperative compensation in terms of the buyer agency compensation will no longer be in MLS. The MLSs will not be able to provide that information or syndicate that information to another place. And we're going to have documents that disclose the commission structure of each transaction, and our state and local boards are going to have to produce those documents starting in July for us to comply with the settlement. The next biggest thing that you need to take away is, as of today, other than having the conversation, because the media has made this very public, having that conversation with people that are buying or selling a house, in terms of the forms and the legality of the documents, nothing has changed as of today. Our state and local boards could change those very, very quickly, but in terms of the actual result of this settlement, nothing has changed today. If you have any questions, reach out to me. My phone number is 864-313-2713. Love to hear from you, and I hope this was helpful in your understanding of where we are today with the National Association of Realtors settlement of March 15th, 2024.